Right, this is a little recitation written by a great Shanachie storyteller, the great Sean Cowley from Balnagore, God rest him. He wrote many fine stories. This is one about a farmer here in the community where I live. I don't think it's fact anyway, we'll say it's fiction, but this farmer was fierce man. He didn't believe in wasting anything. Some call it waste not, want not, others call it the Rahugh Ass. Goes like this. Now my school days were filled with confusion, and I wasn't too bright, I'll tell the truth. And my parents, they came to the conclusion that I'd never be fit for minute. Far too tall to be a dwarf in the circus, still I hadn't the height for the guards. And in between niggard and gossip, ill-designed for financial rewards. Still my father thought I was a charmer, and there wasn't much else I could do. So he sent me to work for a farmer in a backward place known as Rahugh. Now the first week it wasn't too easy, sure I couldn't do anything right. The food, it was never too crazy. It was stir about morning and night. Now the dinner had great variation. There was no such thing as beef, mutton or malt. One day we'd salt and potatoes, and the next day potatoes and salt. Now the next week it started much better because 3 chickens that ate in the coop. We ate the meat out of the feathers, and we lived for a week on the soup. The next week was all vegetation. It was turnips and cabbage and grass. Now they're not high-calorie rations. They're misfortune befell the old ass. Now the morning I went to catch Walter, but that was the old donkey's name, and after the minute I put on the halter, I could see he was terribly lame. I ran back and I told the old farmer, and he examined him crooked and straight, and he whispered to me with a stammer that there's no use in wasting good meat. So he sent me back home for the hammer, the big butcher's knife and the saw. And the old donkey, he gave his last trimmer, the big knife ended Walter's hee-haw. Then he cleaned the big knife in his breeches and he said, that's the last journey for Walt. And he split the ass down in 2 flitches and sent me to town for the salt. Now, the meat of an ass is like rubber. That wasn't fit for a stomach like mine. But your old farmer, he had teeth like a grubber, and he get them cleaned out of the brain. I then took a bit up to Granny, saying I thought it might help her improve. At night, she was roaring for Andrews, trying to keep the old ass on the move. Now the farmer, he slept in the kitchen in a big settled bed with 2 doors. For his pillow, the straddle and breeching, and sure he'd waken the dead with his snores. An old woman, she was a slave to sciatica, and sure she couldn't lay easy in bed. And at night when I'd retire to the attic, she'd be sitting there nodding her head. Then one morning I woke like a fable. I ran down the stairs in surprise. An old woman was laid out on the table, and the farmer was closing her eyes. So I ran from the house like a demon, but the farmer was shouting to halt, and when I looked back he was screaming, "Hey, come back here and give me the salt!"